What do you do when the person you betrayed refuses to even acknowledge you exist? That's the question I've been asking myself for weeks now. My name is Isabel. I'm 32, and somehow I became that woman. It's one who detonated the most stable. Loving part of her life for a fleeting thrill. Never thought I'd end up here, sleeping alone in a cheap studio apartment, surrounded by silence, haunted by memories I can't undo. It started 6 years ago when I met Nathan. Everything felt like magic. We clicked immediately. 8 months later, we were living together. By year 2, we bought a quaint little home tucked in a sleepy suburb. Everyone said we were the picture of happiness. And honestly, I believed them. Nathan was steady, thoughtful, the kind of man who brought me coffee just the way I liked it. He rubbed my feet after long work days. He never mocked my obsession with trashy reality TV. He made life feel safe. But somewhere along the line, the fire began to dim. For years in, things had grown predictable. Work, dinner, TV, bed, repeat. Gone were the spontaneous date nights, the small surprises, the lingering kisses. It was comfort, but also monotony. I started noticing the distance. He wasn't texting as often during the day. He came home later, and when he did, his eyes barely met mine. But instead of talking to him, really talking, I started listening to voices outside our home. "You're settling," my friend Kira would whisper during our girls' nights. "You're still young, Izzy. Don't waste your prime being bored." Lana, another friend who treated marriage like a seasonal hobby, kept echoing the same theme. "If he's not making you feel wanted, someone else will." Enter Dylan. He was the new guy at my office. Sharp suits, confident smirk, and a way of making me feel like I was the only person in the room. At first, it was harmless banter. Then came the texts. At first about projects, then about music, weekend plans, childhood wounds. He listened. He laughed. He saw me. I told myself it was just friendly, but deep down I wanted him to see me. I missed feeling attractive, desired, exciting. The first kiss happened after a work happy hour in his car, with the music low and lips too close. I went home that night feeling sick, but also more alive than I had in years. The guilt was there at first, but with every drink, every glance, every night I worked late, it got easier to justify. Nathan was too distracted, too comfortable, too oblivious. And then I did the unthinkable. Nathan said he had to work late. I saw it as an opportunity. I invited Dylan over to our home, our bedroom, the same room where Nathan once kissed my forehead and told me I was his forever. I won't describe what happened in detail. You already know, but I'll tell you this. It wasn't love. It was ego. It was selfishness wrapped in wine-stained sheets and dimmed lighting. And part of me, some broken, stupid part, wanted to get caught. Maybe Nathan would finally realize how far apart we drifted. Maybe it would force him to fight for me. He didn't fight. He disappeared. That night, he came home early. I didn't even know. Dylan had already left. I was cleaning up, erasing lipstick from wine glasses, fluffing pillows we had no business lying on. When I greeted Nathan with a kiss, he flinched. "Oh. How was work?" I asked, pretending everything was normal. "Fine," he replied. One word. No emotion. He didn't eat dinner, didn't sit beside me on the couch, slept in the guest room. The next morning, he looked at me like a stranger. "I want to break up," he said, staring at his coffee mug. "What? Why?" I asked, panic rising. "I just do. You need to move out by next week." And that was it. No yelling, no confrontation, just silence. Ice-cold silence that screamed louder than any fight ever could. I begged him to talk. He refused. I cried, called, texted nothing. I reached out to our friends. Most of them stopped answering. Even his sister, who once called me her bonus sibling, was cold and distant. "Are you seriously asking what you did?" she snapped before hanging up. And suddenly it clicked. He knew. I didn't know how. Maybe he came home earlier than I thought. Maybe a neighbor saw Dylan's car. Maybe he just felt it. But he knew. And worse, everyone else seemed to know too. The next time I saw Nathan was the day he came to grab the rest of his things. I stayed against his request. I needed to understand. I needed him to say it out loud, and he did. I saw you in our bed with him. I tried to speak, but nothing came. Out, that wasn't a mistake, he said. That was betrayal. I begged. I offered therapy, apologies, explanations. You didn't talk to me when you were unhappy, he said, eyes hollow. You just replaced me, and now I'm done. He walked out just like that. 6 years, and I was left alone with guilt, shame, and the realization that I had burned down the only person. Whoever truly loved me, Nathan, not Dylan. Because even Dylan's name began to feel like poison. Kept reaching out, wanting to see me start something official, as if we were Romeo and Juliet. I blocked him. Kira, my party girlfriend, let me. Crashed for a few weeks. Even she flinched when I finally admitted the whole truth. You brought him into your house, she whispered. Jesus, Izzy. Eventually, I moved into a studio apartment with peeling paint and paper-thin walls. Took a new job, one that paid less, one where no one knew me or what I'd done. And Nathan, he's thriving. I found out through a mutual friend that he got promoted. He's dating someone new. She's beautiful, sweet, the kind of woman who probably appreciates the man I carelessly discarded. Sometimes I still reach for my phone, tempted to message him, to apologize again, to ask if we can ever be something. But I don't, because he was right. He doesn't owe me closure or forgiveness, and I don't deserve it. I lost Nathan. I lost our home. I lost our future. And for what a brief illusion of being wanted by someone who never really knew me? The worst part isn't the loneliness. It's knowing I chose this. I made this bed and now I sleep in it alone.